This is Cold Cuts, short essays about storytelling, creativity, and the systems we build and then get trapped inside. I'm Tony Serecchia. Today, cursive, fountain pens, and the bold decision to ignore every efficiency tool ever invented in favor of thinking a little more clearly. This is the cost of clean thinking. I usually write my first drafts in a notebook, in cursive, with a fountain pen, which, depending on how you measure progress, either makes me wildly romantic or wildly inefficient. It also runs directly counter to every piece of feedback I received in Catholic school, Our Lady of Perpetual Crankiness, where one of my teachers looked at my page and my handwriting, paused, and said, "It resembles two chickens fighting on the page." This was followed by the helpful prediction that, given my penmanship, success in life would remain aspirational, which in fairness is a tough note to carry forward. Not "you might struggle," not "this could be a problem." Just your thoughts as currently written are so structurally unsound, they may prevent you from becoming anything at all. So naturally, I doubled down and bought a nicer pen. Now, I am aware there are faster ways to write. I own several of them. My MacBook can process more words in a minute than I will write in an hour. And my phone will transcribe my thoughts without complaint or judgment as I walk, drive, or torture myself on what is, for all practical purposes, a Victorian punishment device for debtors. Yet when it comes time to start something that matters, or capture my raw thoughts, I reach for a notebook. Why? Not because it's more efficient. It isn't. But because cursive, or my odd hybrid of cursive and print, won't let me cheat. I cannot easily jump ahead or clean up as I go. Deletion isn't clean. It's messy, like a mob hit, full of slashes and arrows. I can only write slower than my brain processes the words. But the gap between my brain and my hand, that's where the thinking takes place. When I type, I can easily outrun myself. I can get to the end of a paragraph before I've fully understood what I'm trying to say. The words stack neatly, the sentences look complete, but it's an illusion of progress, clean text appearing on a screen, even if the idea underneath is only half formed. It feels finished long before it is. That doesn't happen with cursive. If a sentence isn't working, I feel it immediately. My hand slows down, the line wobbles, and I hesitate. My brain knows before I do that something went sideways. And when I cross something out, it doesn't disappear, it stays there. A visible reminder that I tried something and it didn't land. There's no undo button, no clean version waiting underneath the mess, just the work. We've spent a lot of time as a culture trying to remove that kind of friction. And in most cases, it's a good thing. Friction slows us down. It introduces errors. It makes simple things harder than they need to be. So we built systems that prioritize speed, clarity, and efficiency. We moved from cursive to print, from print to typing, from typing to tapping, from tapping to talking. Each step is faster, cleaner, and more scalable than the last. And each step a little further removed from the act of thinking something through. This isn't a complaint about technology. I love technology. I rely on it. This essay, at some point, will leave the notebook and live in a format that has nothing to do with ink or paper. That's not the problem. The problem is what we decided wasn't worth keeping. Cursive didn't disappear because it failed. It didn't stop working because it didn't fit the wetware. We stopped teaching it because it didn't fit the system. It's slower, harder to standardize. It doesn't scan cleanly. And yes, OCR software hates me. The last time I tried it, the output looked like something that would require the Warrens and 2 gallons of holy water. It also doesn't translate well to machines. It requires practice, and worse, patience. And patience is something we've been optimizing out of almost everything. So cursive became optional, then unnecessary. And now, for a lot of people, unreadable. That's the part that doesn't get talked about much. There are letters and documents, real letters and documents, written not that long ago that a growing number of people can't read without effort. Not because the words are complicated, but because the form is unfamiliar. We didn't just simplify writing, we simplified what to expect from the person doing it. Now, everything is clear, everything is legible, everything arrives quickly and looks more or less the same. Your notes look like my notes. My emails look like your emails. Our thoughts show up in the same font, the same size, and the same structure as everyone else's. Clean and efficient, but also interchangeable. A signature used to be something you developed. It took time and it evolved. It was, in a small but very real way, your representation on paper. Now, it's often a formality, something you approximate once and then just reproduce as quickly as possible, or replace entirely with a checkbox. I agree. We've reduced identity to compliance. Now, this isn't a call to bring back cursive classes with the urgency of a man yelling at clouds. But maybe we should. Most people will be fine without it. But most people are also fine without knowing the Pythagorean theorem, and we still teach that. The world will continue to function. Emails will get sent, documents will get signed. But something has shifted. When I sit down with a notebook, I'm thinking at the speed of my hand. No shortcuts, no clean versions waiting on the other side, just a line followed by a line, followed by the slow realization that the thing I thought I understood is going to take a little longer to get right. It's inconvenient and a little ridiculous. And by almost any modern metric, wildly inefficient. And it's also the only part of the process that doesn't let me pretend I understand something before I actually do. And that's the cost of clean thinking. More essays, written at the speed of my hand, not my keyboard, are at tonyserecchia.com. Thanks for listening. Subscribe if you're inclined. I'm Tony Serecchia, and this is Cold Cuts.